Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. I'm Muksha Malviya, CEO of Gamatech iSphere. So let's just start this video. Every single minute, somewhere on this planet, an industry loses money it can never recover. And factories bleed procs millions per minute from machines downtime. And construction projects stalls burning millions per day in delays. Hospital waste billions on inefficiencies, transport fleets drain fuel and time in traffic chaos, and safety incidents silently lost and cost lives and millions in lawsuits. But what if I told you in 2025, five AI tools are rewriting the story? And from predictive machines failure before they happen to making permits digital and instant, to eliminating size hazards in seconds, to optimize hospitals and fleet at scale. These aren't science fiction. They are here because right now. And they are saving industries millions every single day. And our world doesn't just run on machines, it runs on invisible systems. The silent workflow no one notices until they break. Machine, permits, logistics, safety checks, hospital routines, fleet schedules. When even when even one faults or guys, it sets off a chain reaction, a domino effect so powerful it can ripple entire industries. I just want you guys to picture a robotic welder in an auto factory. One moment, sparks fly with precision. The next, it freezes mid job. Intensively, the entire line halt. Workers stand helpless, and half built cars stack up like lifeless shields on the assembly line. And guys, here's the brutal truth I want to tell you. Every tick of the clock drains millions per minute. Not in theory, in reality. That's million lost in hours. All because of one tiny failure. Now, shift to a skyscraper project. A single permit approval, one stamp, one signature. It delayed by just 2 days. Crane stands frozen against the skyline, and workers wait, costing wages but producing nothing. And material lies exposed, deadline slips. By the time the paper moves across someone's desk, hundreds of thousands of dollars has evaporated. And a warehouse in peak session and or season, thousands of parcels racing towards delivery, and suddenly a conveyor belt stops. Boxes piles high, order stalls, refund flood in, angry customer floods social media, and brand trust. It's crumbled in awe. One motor, one glitch, and an empire looks fragile. Now, let's just talk about in hospitals, inefficiency is more than dollar, it lives. Now, a patient in emergency needs a life saving drug, but paperwork stalls the process. Nurses shuffle between forms, approvals, and outdated systems. A 20-minute delay, not because of negligence, but because of inefficiency. Here's the cost isn't financial, it's human. And finally, fleet logistics. Dozens of trucks on the highway, a tiny misroute in the system leaves them ideal in traffic. Engine burning fuel, deliveries missed deadlines, supply chain breaks, customer wait, and cost skyrockets. One small inefficiency magnifies into millions of wasted dollars. This isn't just inefficiency, It's a chain reaction that destroys revenue, reputation, and trust. And when you multiply this across hundreds of machines, thousands of workers, and millions of transactions, the loss is no longer measured in millions. It's measured in billions. You might say, but don't we already have system for this? I guess maintenance dashboard from permit softwares, safety checklist, hospital ERPs, fleet trackers. Yes, industries have systems, but here's the hard truth I'm going to tell you guys. Most of these are reactive, not proactive. They don't prevent the fire, they just rise the alarm once the flames are already burning. Factories still depends on dashboards that flashes red after a motor has overheated or a pump has broken or maybe a belt has snapped. By the time the system alerts you, the assembly line is silent and millions of dollars per minute is eaten away. Now, when we talk about construction projects runs on approvals, but when those approvals depend on manual paper trials and endless signatures, cranes sit still and workers are paid to wait. Project slips behind the schedule and every delay stacks up into hundreds of thousands in wasted cost. Most safety systems don't stop accidents. They just report them after they happen. Now, a worker slip, a report gets filled, a fine is paid, but the injury, the delay, the human cost, those can't be undone. ERPs and hospital systems are supposed to save time, but too often they bury doctors and nurses under very critical and red tape. But by the time the right form is processed, the right approval is signed, the critical window for treatment may already be closed. And inefficiency in healthcare doesn't just cost money, it costs lives. And fleets, sure, trackers can show you that a truck is late, but what good is that? Maps can tell you where the problem is. They don't tell you how to stop it before it happens. So deliveries miss deadlines. Fuel is wasted, customer is waiting, and trust is simply evaporated. And that's the pattern across every industry. By the time action is taken, the damage is already in motion, like downtime, delays, accidents, waste, fines, and lawsuits. Now, traditional systems are too slow for a world that demands a real time decision and zero tolerance for inefficiency. That's why industries in 2025 are shifting to a new class of software. AI power, predictive, mobile first, always on, and leading this revolution. Five solutions, five game changers. That is FixitX, SitePermitX, SnagX, MediCoreX, and last but not the least, WheelX. First up, that is FixitX, the AI tool saving industries millions by eliminating downtime. Now, when we talk about downtime is the 1,000 per minute killer of factories. FixitX doesn't just monitor machines, it predicts failure before it happens. Now, question arises how it works. I'll tell you guys. Real-time data aggression. That is, that lets to reads every vibration, heat signals, and motor loads. Second would be AI power prediction that leads to detected micro anomalies invisible to human eyes. Third would be financial impact modeling that shows exactly how much each risk will cost per minute. Fifth would be proactive actions. That leads to reroute operations or triggers primitive fixes instantly. Now, for example, I'm going to give you, just imagine a robotic arm shows subtle vibration. FixitX flags 85% risk of failure in 3 hours. Maintenance is scheduled, downtime is avoided, and savings is up to $1.2 million in one shift. This is why Fortune 500 plants now call FixitX their guardian angel because it turns chaos into foresights. Now, next is our second software, that is SitePermitX, the AI that makes permit instantly. Now, guys, construction and industrial sites bleed money waiting for approvals. A crane operator sitting idle costs thousands a day. A day-to-day permit delay, hundreds of thousands. And SitePermitX fixes this by going digital, predictive, and mobile first. Now, question arises how it works. So, let me just tell you. AI digital checklist that leads to ensure every safety and compliance step is verified. Second would be instant mobile approvals that goes to supervisors approval from anywhere, no people and no waiting. Third would be real-time audit trail that leads to every approval is time-stamped and stored for compliance. Fourth would be predictive rise insights that leads to flags unsafe or incomplete request before approval. Now, let me just explain this to you with a big example. Suppose a high risk welding permit request hits a supervisor's phone, and instead of wasting 2 days, she or he reviews, checks AI suggestions, swipes to approvals, work works continuously, instantly, and up to $2,500 saved in just one permit. Now, this isn't just convenience, it's money, safety, and time protected. Now, third would be SnagX. So, this app, this software that turns safety into saving. Every site hazards, a loose wire on oil slim, an unstable scaffold is a lawsuit waiting to happen. Unfiled compensation, downtime, and millions are lost. Now, SnagX transform hazard reporting into a snap and fix workflow. One click hazard reporting would be like worker takes a photo, AI tags the location and risk level. Second would be automatic escalation. That leads to critical hazards are instantly sent to supervisors or whoever the hierarchy you want to send, and it is also customizable. Now, third would be AI powered risk heat maps that leads to predictive where accidents are most likely to occur. Fourth would be closed loop resolution. Now, it leads to nothing slips through every hazard logs until fixed. So, to explain this, I'm going to give you a short example. Suppose worker spots a chemical spill and SnagX logs location, tags something would be like critical risk, and send push alert to the safety officer or the plant head. Now clean up the trigger in 5 minutes. Accident is prevented, fine is avoided, and millions are saved. And safety, guys, isn't just compliance; it's profit prediction, and SnagX makes safety proactive. Now let's step into healthcare, and where downtime isn't just costly, it's life threatening. MediCoreX is our fourth software, is the AI system transforming hospitals and clinics. So the first beauty of this feature would be smart resource scheduling that matches doctor, nurses, and equipment in real time. Second would be predictive bed management that forecasts patients' inflows to prevent overcrowding. Third would be AI powered diagnostic support that flags anomalous in scan and lab result faster. Fourth would be cost optimization that cuts waste in supply, staffing, and energy. So to know this, to know you guys, I just going to give you a very short example. So in one hospital, MediCoreX predicted a surge in ER patient after a local festival. Beds were prepped, staff were relocated, supplies were stocked. But what was the result? Zero delays, life was saved, millions in operational efficiency gain. And in healthcare, guys, saving minutes means saving lives. And Medicore X is making hospital faster, safer, and financially stronger. Now, finally, last but not the least, is our WheelX, the AI that turns fleets into profit machines. Fleet bleeds money from ideal time, poor routing, and accidents. WheelX make every trip smarter. For example, AI route optimization that finds the fastest, lowest fuel path. Second would be like driver behavior monitoring that flags unsafe driving in real time. Third would be predictive maintenance for vehicles that detects risk before breakdown. Fourth would be fuel and emission optimization that cuts cost and supports ESG goals. So to make this understand, I'm just going to give you another example. So suppose a logistic company with 2000 trucks used WheelX, and the result would be fuel saving up to millions per year, accident reduced by number of percent would be like 40 to 50%, and one time delivery approved by 22%. In transport, seconds matter. WheelX gives fleet the power to move fast, safer, and cheaper. So five AI tools, five ways to stop the silent bleed of industry. That is FixitX that eliminates downtime. Second, SitePermitX that kills permit delay. Third, SnagX that makes safety proactive. Fourth, MediCoreX saves lives and cost. Fifth is WheelX that optimize fleet at scale. So guys, together they are saving billions of dollars across manufacturing, construction, healthcare, and logistics. This, guys, isn't the future. This is now. And the companies adopting them, they are not just saving money, they are building trust, safety, and resilience. So ask yourself, guys, in 2025, can your business afford inefficiency? Or will you join the AI revolution that rewriting the rules of industry? So with that, I'm going to end this video and I'm going to meet you in the next video. So don't forget to like, subscribe and share. Who really wants to hear this? Bye bye guys.